Hi everybody, I'm Matt Gash with SoundersFC.com here at Starfire, where there's been a different mood here at training over the last couple days as the Sounders prepare to face Real Salt Lake in a do-or-die game in the Western Conference semifinal.
You know, they don't feel good about what happened on Saturday, so, it's pretty quiet. Quiet is good. Calm before the storm, so we'll be ready.
One thing Seattle will have working in their favor is that they'll be playing in the friendly confines of CenturyLink Field, where they posted a 9-4-4 record in MLS play and had 3 wins in the last 2.5 months of 3 goals or more.
The cool part about having a second leg at home is you get a chance to put it right, and you start by getting 1 goal. You start by getting the first goal and go from there, and let them worry a little bit as the second one and the third one comes.
The turf is a little more difficult for them to play on. We've got our crowd behind us, so that's a benefit for us as well. I think we know what we have to do. We're motivated. I think they obviously know that we're going to come and go at them. So we got to make sure we don't get countered on, and then we'll see how they decide to play it.
The Sounders will need to outscore Real Salt Lake by 3 to force overtime or a shootout, and 4 to advance to the Western Conference Final. While that may be a tall task, with so much balance in the league, Casey Keller says that it is not an impossible task by any means.
The funny thing about this league is, with the parity, is, you can get beat 3-0, and then the next game you can win 3-0. So it's not as if it's, wow, you just got beat by Man U 3-0, and now you got to go play them in the second leg. It's not that kind of issue. So, we're all extremely disappointed with the scoreline and the mountain we have to climb, but it's definitely a climbable mountain as opposed to something that's just insurmountable.
The focus of the club now is on giving their fans something to remember on Wednesday night.
Everything sets up an opportunity, so we have an opportunity here on Wednesday to come up with a great result. And if we have the result that we want to have, it'll be a game that people will remember for a long, long time. So that's our objective, to create a game that you're not going to forget for a long time.
Joining us now, the voice of the Sounders, Arlo White. And Arlo, kind of the sentiment around this team right now is that if there's any team that can come back from a 3-0 deficit, it's the Seattle Sounders. Why is that?
Well, I think you look at the positive style of play that Ziggy has instilled in this team for the entire season. 56 goals is an awful lot of goals. Over the second half of the season, they were averaging over 2 goals per game. So there's no reason why they can't go out there and set up this sort of marauding style. It needs the symbiosis between crowd and team on Wednesday night. We need to create an atmosphere that is intimidating, that is inspiring, and the players have to play their part in that. They have to come out from the first whistle, and they've got to get stuck in. They've got to make their challenges. They've got to be physical, and they've got to play good football. It's not insurmountable. It's going to be tremendously difficult. But if we can all get on a roll, and you get this sort of tsunami or a tidal waves type effect, it could unsettle Real Salt Lake, and then the goals may flow. So if there's not one scored in the first 10 minutes, a lot of people are saying got to get an early goal. Don't panic. You look at a lot of these comebacks from big deficits, and they happen with less time than 90 minutes on the clock, but they happen in bursts. Liverpool famously, the most famous one perhaps of the last few years in Istanbul, they got 3 goals in about 10 minutes against AC Milan. So don't panic if it doesn't happen early. But the Sounders certainly have to raise their game from Saturday. They have to shrug off that lethargy. They have to be energised by the crowd, and they've just got to go for it.
Absolutely, and as we've said, if there's history on Seattle's side. If there's one thing they've done all year, it's bounce back when the odds seem insurmountable.
Yeah, and I think it's is it 6 or 7 times they've come back from 1 goal down, 7 times to win the game, but this is 3, and you don't want to concede the first goal on Wednesday, because this is the playoffs, and as RSL proved on Saturday, they're a quality team, and they managed to, we were saying all along, well, it's so hard to flick a switch between not playing very well and suddenly playing well again. Well, they managed to do it. They've got key players back. They play a midfield diamond, which is hard to combat because it enables them to flood the centre of midfield and keep the ball. So the Sounders have got to get their challenges in, and if they go one up top, Saborio, then maybe Ziggy responds by going 3 at the back. Well, we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be a real chess match. Tactically, it's going to be very interesting, and Ziggy's going to be prepared for this because Jason Kreis, is a deep thinker about the game as well. I mean, Borchers and Olave potentially being injured, we'll know more about that by game time, is a big problem for RSL. Chris Schuler coming in, he played very well in the 0-0 last year as well as Saturday, so he's an able replacement. But then after that, if they're both out, Rawshawn McKenzie, he's only played 9 games in 4 years. Do they put Wingett or Russell back at centre-back? And if so, Will Johnson will be lost to the midfield because he'll go back to full-back. So there are some big decisions. Does Espindola play? He's on a yellow card. Jason Kreis might be thinking, look, I'm 3 goals up. I really backed my team to get through here, but I need Espindola against the LA Galaxy at the weekend. So does he risk him or does he have him on the bench? So they've got questions and they've got real issues. I mean, Kreis might just say, no, I trust my first 11, go out there and do exactly the same as what you did before. But we'll see. But the Sounders have to get the challenges in. They have to get in the faces of Real Salt Lake, impose their game on Real Salt Lake, keep the ball a lot better, and the chances, as we've seen all season, will come.
And it has a chance to be just an unforgettable night at CenturyLink Field. If you don't already have tickets, you definitely want to be a part of it. And I know I'll be there. I know you'll be there. You'll be there on 97.3 Cairo FM on the call, 7 o'clock kickoff. And we hope to see you there at the field. I'm Matt Gash with SoundersFC.com.